Hello and welcome to Patron Station. This episode is brought to you by Peter Jane PJ Doolin. You may recognize this young lad right here from serving you popcorn at the movie theater, or more recently, serving pizzas directly to your doorstep from Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut. The movie I'm going to be reviewing today, at the request of PJ, is Kill Bill Volume 1. Bringing you one of Uma Thurman's better performances, Kill Bill Volume 1 is the fourth movie in Quentin Tarantino's filmmaking career. I am a huge fan of Quentin Tarantino, and I always have been. He's my second favorite director of all time, right behind Stanley Kubrick, and his movies are amazing. A Quentin Tarantino movie usually focuses on making a satire of what other movies usually do with a topic, but it always goes beyond that, making the movie enjoyable even if you're not appreciating it that way. And that brings us to what Kill Bill as a movie actually is, a satire. It takes this classic plot that we've already seen a billion times, where it's a Japanese revenge beat-em-up style type of movie, but it puts that Quentin Tarantino twist on it, where everything is so over-exaggerated to make fun of what these types of movies always do, that it gives it comedic effect while still maintaining its respect to be respected as a good movie. Or at least that's what Kill Bill Volume 1 tries to do. In the reality of the execution, it just ends up using the satirical elements too much to the point where it ceases being satirical and ends up just kind of being overwhelming and uncomfortable to watch. The way it achieves this uncomfortable feeling is that it overuses the gags of satire. It takes something like this.
I cannot believe you are early.
Which is a satirical element. That's kind of something that those movies will try and do, and it's normally not that good, and so we're going to make fun of it here in this movie, but it'll still be good. Really, they use this kind of device of editing and overwhelming stuff where it just stops being fun to watch, and it is not even intense. It's just like, oh, here's this again. For example, say I, in my life, am thinking, wow, I can't believe people do this thing. Here, to make fun of it, I'm gonna do it. And now if I do it, that's fine, it'll be funny, it'll be taken as satire. But if I do it a bunch of times in the same day, or every day for like a month, it ceases to be satirical of me going, look at people that really do this, and it just starts to be, I'm doing it. And that's what happens to Kill Bill. It uses all these elements so much that it stops making fun of them and just kind of starts using them. And when it uses them, it's kind of annoying. And not that it's a bad idea to use a satirical element more than once to get the point across, but when you use it this many times, it's just not fun. But besides those editing type satirical gags that I was talking about, there's another thing that specifically that I'd like to touch on but not really elaborate on, and that's that about halfway through some exposition about a new villain, they just kind of stop making the exposition be narration and turn it into an anime. And it's not really disconcerting because of the type of movie it's being, but I don't know. I really shouldn't talk about it. Mainly because I'm not a fan of anime. I don't watch anime. I have nothing against it. I just don't like it. And I don't know. Really, honestly, I'm not the person to talk about it. All I could really say is that I think it was animated well, although I wouldn't have anything to use as a frame of reference. There's a part where this guy gets stabbed on a bed and it goes through him, and they show it going underneath the bed. But there's no blood on the sword, so gotcha, Tarantino. But like I said, I have no idea besides that about anything about anime, anything about this section of the movie. I didn't hate it, but I feel like if I had known anything about anime and actually liked it, maybe I'd like it more. And so Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about anime. I'm not even going to talk about it.
Hi, my name's Tristan, and I have been duly requested to review the anime section in the movie Kill Bill Volume 1, directed by Quentin Tarantino. Anime is a special thing, and the best that do it are Japanese. So when a Western director comes in and decides, hey, I'm gonna do a satire of all of Japan, you have to include some anime. So, out of the blue, we are due witness to an anime section. And honestly, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good. It's solely for backstory for one of her kills. Because the whole movie is about assassinating dudes and, like, stuff like that. And, it hits you out of the blue, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So the anime I'm used to is like Funimation, right? Pixar. Like really good anime. In fact, I've seen half of Death Note, the series. So I would say I know a thing or two. And I will say it had a good, like, I don't know, almost like newspaper comic vibe. The way the lines were drawn, it was pretty cool. So, like, if you're into newspapers, watch that section of the film. But, like, it hits you out of the blue, and then all the plot points that happen throughout it, like, oh, her family's getting murdered. That's something that's happening now. And it's sometimes you just wish that you could just have a good honest conversation in a Quentin Tarantino movie, but that's not going to happen. That's never going to happen. There's never been a conversation in a Quentin Tarantino movie. Like, Royale with cheese. The parts that really bugged me was the throwaway line where it was like, also, he was a pedophile.
Luckily for her, boss Matsumoto was a pedophile.
And then she goes and, like, stabs him on the bed, and you're like, whoa, let's wind that one back up. But, like, some of the animation was also kind of, like, really weird because there's the scene, as James pointed out, where Katana goes through the bed through the dude, and there's like, oh, there's blood. That's kind of cool. But, like, the blood isn't on the blade, and you're like, oh, it's authentic. Because it's trash. But no, I think, honestly, it's a very bloody movie, and the blood animation was, like, spot on, 10 out of 10. Like, I felt like I was there. Honestly. Quentin Tarantino, he should have stuck to writing movies, I think. Remember the one he wrote about the mob?
But moving on from the anime section of Kill Bill, I want to talk about the movie as a whole. The movie as a whole is not a bad movie. I liked it. Overall, I had fun. There were just lots of good ideas that I felt were better ideas than they were when they were put into execution. When you watch Kill Bill, not looking for the things that a Tarantino movie is or the things that a satirical movie is, and you just appreciate it for being an over-the-top fun movie, it really is an over-the-top fun movie. Whereas if you're looking at it in the way I was saying earlier, then, like I said, it's not going to be as fun. All in all, Kill Bill Volume 1 gets a 7 out of 10. It gets this rating for being a fun movie that you can enjoy with anyone, but it loses some points for being kind of a little too over the top to take it seriously. And even though I said that sometimes it becomes not fun due to overusing gags and satirical jokes, if you just kind of look past that, it really is a fun movie. It has an intriguing plot, and I plan to watch Volume 2.
Do I talk? I don't believe you. That's the thing. I know you're an unreliable narrator. So I don't really trust you ever. Are you filming this? I don't know. You could just be...